And one of the first questions that theologians have been asking since the beginning is this question: why did God create human beings, man and woman? Why did God create men and women? He didn't need to create us. If he needed to do anything, he wouldn't be God. So God doesn't need anything. So he could have gone throughout eternity, before time existed. He could have been fine, happy God, blessed God. So the question is, why did he create man and woman? Why am I here? What's my real purpose? Is it just to have a job, raise a family, go on vacation, have children, have grandchildren, make a living, get an education? What is the reason for our existence?
God made you for his glory. That is, he made you to put him on display by the way you live, the way you think, the way you feel. 1 Corinthians 10:31, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do all of it for the glory of God. It's all over the Bible. You're on the planet by God's design in order to make him look magnificent. You're not your own. You were made and you were redeemed, bought for his glory, to make him look great. That's why we're here. If you don't bring your life into sync with that, you waste it. You throw it away, and in the end you lose it.
So the Bible tells us in both Old and New Testament, man, and I mean man, humans were created to glorify God and enjoy him forever. You're existing today to glorify God. That's your initial primary purpose for all of us. We're not here to make a living. Got to make a living, got to pay the bills. All those things are subsidiary to the main purpose, which many of us, because it's so simple, we miss it. We are on earth right now to glorify God. When you and I are glorifying God in whatever way God helps us to do it, we are now fulfilling the purpose of our existence. Every morning we wake up, our main goal should be understanding the purposes of God for our life. How can I glorify God? Let me tell you how Paul put it in the end of the 10th chapter of 1 Corinthians. He says this: whether you eat or whether you drink, in whatever you do, do it for the glory of God. So when we have a meal, we can glorify God. God, thank you for this food. See how so few of us think of it. We just take life as a series of just inconsequential actions, and we're not realizing I was created, I'm happiest, God is glorified, and it's best for me because I was made to do this, to glorify God. Whatever we do, you're doing it for the glory of God. That's where not only is God praised, but now all of his fulfilling power and grace and blessing begins to flow in us. Why? We're moving in the purpose for our existence. So sad to see people in the world trying to be happy without God, and even people who come to church on Sunday trying to be happy outside of glorifying God. It is impossible. It is impossible. God has made us humans so that the more you try to be happy, the less happy you are. The more you make happiness your goal, the more it escapes you. And when you don't try to be happy and just glorify God, happiness is chasing you all over the place. You have a joy, you have a zest in living. Why? Because you want to? No, because you're glorifying God. So many people are aiming at the pleasure principle, but none of those things, money, vacations, educational achievement, a great career, even children and a family, none of them can bring the joy and the fulfillment that glorifying God with our lives does. But now the question comes, obviously, how do you glorify God? As we look at the scripture, I want to take you to the deepest thing of all. There's nothing deeper than what I'm going to read to you. Nothing in the Bible. Nothing. We can't go deeper than this. There is no further depth found in scripture. And we read it this way. You're familiar with it, but I want to read it from the NIV. I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, so that it'll be even more fruitful. So notice there, no fruit, cast away. You bear fruit, he prunes you, so you can bear even more fruit. You are already clean or pruned because of the word I have spoken to you. Remain in me, and I will remain in you. Now that word, remain in me, and I will remain in you, that's a very deep word. The King James has it, abide in me, and I will abide in you. Some have stay connected to me, stay with me, be close and with me, be in union with me, and I will be in union with you. No branch can bear fruit by itself, it must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. For apart from me, you can do nothing. If anyone does not remain in me, he's like a branch that is thrown away and withers. Such branches are picked up, thrown into the fire, and burned. This is to my Father's glory, that you bear much fruit, showing yourself to be my disciples. And the fruit bearing is not on Sunday. The fruit bearing is 24/7, 365. As you bear fruit, my Father is glorified.